Hey everyone, Alex here from Japanese Masters, and today we're going to go over Minna no Nihongo, Lesson 3, Part 5, that is ko, so, a, and do. Okay, let's go and dive right on into this. Okay, as you can see here, we have our ko, our so, our a, and our do. And the first thing we should probably go over is what does this mean in English? Well, if you notice there's nothing down here, that's because these by themselves don't actually mean anything in English. These are prefixes to a whole set of words that basically change their meaning based on what prefix you put. This will make a little more sense when we break it down. So let's go ahead and break it down really quickly. Okay, so the first prefix that we're going to go over is ko. Ko is used when you are referring to something that is close to the speaker. This will make sense when we dive into what you can attach these prefixes to. Next, we have so. So is used when referring to something close to the listener. Next, we have a. A is going to be used when referring to something that is not close to the listener nor the speaker. So that would be something that's far away from both people that are having the conversation, or the group that's having the conversation. And then finally, do is going to be the prefix that is the interrogative. That just means that it turns whatever the suffix, the rest of the part is, into a question. Okay. Let's go ahead and see all the suffixes so that we can see exactly how these prefixes and suffixes go together. Okay, so we have our ko, so, a, and do on the left. Then on the right are our suffixes that can create different words to mean different things. So first we have re, then we have no, noun. Then we have so, if used with a. That's important. This one is only used with a. And then we have, of course, our chira, which means direction, or it can also mean place up here, but it's usually polite. So if you are talking to someone in a more polite way, you would use the chira part. And as you can see, the chira part refers to this direction or that direction, something like that. And I think I've said it in previous lessons before, but usually when you're less direct in Japanese, you're more polite. So instead of saying directly a location, if you just say in that direction, it's more polite. Okay, so how exactly do we combine these with these? Well, you literally just attach these. You attach these prefixes to these suffixes to create the words. So for example, let's take ko and connect it to the ko here. We're not using a, so there's no so here. So this becomes koko, which, like I said, the ko prefix means that it is close to the speaker. So when combined with the place, it's going to be the place that is close to the speaker, or in English that translates to here. Another example is if we took the do and attached it to the no noun. So that would mean what thing, because remember, do turns it into a question. So for example, if it was so, it would be that thing. With do, it is what thing. And this in is going to be the noun that's going to come after it. So like do no kuruma. Kuruma meaning car in Japanese. So you'd be saying which car or what car. And usually it's going to be talking about a selection. So there's probably a couple cars and you're saying which car. One more example, if you took ko and put it to re, then you would have kore. And like I said, that is going to be a thing that is close to the speaker, which in English that translates to this. And then one more example is dochira. Dochira is going to be which direction. So it can either be the polite form of do plus ko, which would be doko, or it can literally mean which direction, like which direction do I need to go, or something like that. And then now we have our a that's going to be attached to the ko, and like I said before, because it is a, there's a little special case here. You have to put the so next to it, so it's asoko. And so this prefix means that it is not close to the speaker and it is not close to the listener. So you are saying that place over there. In English, I think it basically would translate to over there. But yeah, I hope that this makes sense now, that you can just basically attach these prefixes to these suffixes and create a whole bunch of different words. Let's go ahead and go through a couple of examples to really cement this in your brain. Okay, so the first one is, this is a Japanese car, or a car made in Japan. That would be, kore wa Nihon no kuruma desu. Now the first thing you might notice is that I think this is the exact same sentence I used either in the last lesson or maybe the lesson before that, when I was talking about noun 1, no, noun 2 again. I went ahead and just kept the sentence because it works perfectly for explaining this part as well. So the first thing you should notice is here is our structure here. We have our ko and our re. So ko and then plus re. which this creates one word. I just colored them differently so that you could see it. However, this is just a single word, which is kore. So that, of course, means something that is close to the speaker, and then the re means that it is a thing. So it's literally saying a thing close to the speaker or just this. So then, of course, we have our Nihon, which is Japan, and then kuruma, which just means car. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the next example. Okay, what is that box? Sono hako wa nan desu ka? Okay, so here, yet again, we have our structure that we went over here, except this time we're using the no plus a noun. If you can notice right here, we have our no. I colored it black, yet again, just to show what that, just to show the suffix and the prefix being added together. And then we have our so. So this means that it is something that is close to the listener. So usually translates to English into that. And then we have the noun attached after it. This will be the in the structure. So we have box. So this basically just means that box. And that's how you combine a noun. You couldn't say like sore hako. You have to have the no if you want to attach a noun after it. And then of course we have our nan, which just means what in Japanese. And then our simple wa desu ka structure. So it turns it into a question. Okay, let's move on to the final example. The final example is the pin is over there. Pin wa asoko desu. Okay. Yet again, here is our structure one more time. If you notice, remember this is the one that has a little bit of a special case, so you add the so instead of just the ko, like you can do with so, ko, and do. So this would be either doko, soko, or koko. With a, it needs to be asoko. And then we have our a attached to it, so we are saying that it is a place because we are using the ko suffix, and we are attaching it to a, so it is not close to the speaker and it is not close to the listener. So it is saying the pin over there. It's not saying there, it's not saying here. It's saying over there. So it's not close to the speaker, it's not close to the listener. And then, of course, we have our pin, which pin is a loan word from Japanese, so it is usually written in katakana. And I just put the little furigana above it. But yeah, so that is the full sentence together. Pin wa asoko desu. The pin is over there. And that is going to be the end of today's lesson. So yeah, so you can memorize each of these words individually. So I think there are a total of like 16 combinations if you do the math of all the possible combinations of prefixes and suffixes. You can memorize them individually, but this, just memorizing the prefix and then memorizing the set of suffixes will make it so that you can quickly switch between them because you'll know at all times exactly what each of these means. And you can, more quickly build it if you just are building it in your brain right away instead of trying to remember specific words. That is the end of today's lesson, guys. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments below. Other than that, I'll see you all next time. All right, keep studying Japanese, everyone. See ya.